When I get my money right, I am going to buy land in a village in Africa and building my home there. Now, I know many of you are gonna say, Africa is not a country. I know. I haven't decided which country yet in Africa. I just know that I'm going back to Africa. When I become rich, there would be signs, very unexpected signs. You will start seeing me barefoot in the villages in Africa. Which country exactly in Africa, I have not decided yet. But my heart really lies with Uganda because that's where I grew up. I'm Ugandan. I'm open to any African country, to be honest. Personally, my heart will be at peace, at pure peace when I return to Africa. That is when I will truly feel like I'm free and I've made it in life. That's when I will find myself. If you have never been to an African village, let me tell you, that is where the true freedom is. Like, that is where I have truly felt like a human. Let me tell you a little bit about African villages. I'm gonna specifically speak for Uganda because that's where I grew up, but I've also seen that across Africa we have similar cultures and mannerisms. So if this relates to your country as well, take it. When I think of African villages, it's like a glitch in society. It's a glitch in life because problems that people in the village face, the cities and towns have have access to, but problems that the cities and towns are facing, villages have easy. So one thing about this video, I don't want it to come off as poverty glamorization because that is one thing I hate, when people that are well off look over to people that struggle and almost like an aesthetic, like I hate that. So this is not that video. So going back to my idea of villages being like a glitch, people who live in villages, who have permanent homes, village is their life. Those people are, on a large scale, are usually struggling people. Like, they're usually not the wealthiest people. But also on the other side, these people also have the resources that cities don't have, or people who live in the cities wish they had. Number one, people in the villages farm their own food. They are farmers, they own massive gardens, but they also own massive pieces of land. Their homes are usually inherited, so these people don't usually pay rent. Like, towns, a cultural like perspective in Uganda, people in towns usually go back to their villages for Christmas or like for holidays, just to spend time with their family. The village is where you're going to find strong core African culture. You're gonna find that people in the village dress African, like they dress tribal. This is where our tribes reside mostly. They're not really mixed up. A lot of people in these areas speak the same language, they eat the same food. This is their tribal land. While in the cities, it's like it's mixed up. In the cities, you're going to find people from all over the country in one space, and people don't speak the same language. They, you know how it is in cities, like it's all mixed up. There is no like one dominant. Well, in Uganda it's different. I feel like in regions we have dominating cultures and languages, while in America, in the cities, like you find there isn't a dominating language and culture. Yeah, that is a nutshell of what villages are. The reason why I don't like poverty glamorization, because these are real people, these are their lives, and they shouldn't be treated as objects in a museum. You know, we're not going sight viewing for poverty. I don't like that you outside look on other people's lives like that. You're here just for a day. These people are here, this is their life, and we're both humans. And people should have dignity. People should reserve, like, we all, anyways. Poverty glamorization is really disgusting to me because it takes away the humanity and dignity of the other person. You're in their space, you ought to treat them with respect. And I feel like poverty glamorization treats people as though they are artifacts or real life museum profiles, and I don't like that. So this is not that video. I say this as truly as a person who, with all the respect, I just want to go back to being grounded in African culture and being adopted myself. I feel like I have missed that part of it because I was raised by someone who's from a different culture, and I want to go back to my roots and immerse myself in what it means to be surrounded by people that are very diverse, but also hold and have grown up in this culture. I honestly, this is weird, but I honestly feel very diluted or corrupted by Western society. And it's not a bad thing. It can be, but in my sense, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's more of like my reality, just based on how I grew up, or I've been able to travel. I live in America right now, so my mind is not the same. I've been open to so many different things. I've seen so many different things, learned so much from so many different people. I would like to go back to an African grounding. Yeah. Because let me tell you, these people are like live in a community. When I talk about community, I mean an African village. I grew up in Uganda, and the villages are the most peaceful place. Like, aren't cities. What makes them stand out is the communal love and attention and generosity. And let me tell you, villages are usually like poor. Like villages is where you're going to find like mud huts and little like Western civilization, if that's what you call it. But these are the places where you will truly feel free. Like, you will truly feel like life is going at your pace. You have no problems in life when you're in the villages. For the Americans that will never like truly feel have this experience, I can relate it. Like, let me say you work a 9 to 5, life is fast, you have to deliver that kind of pace, and then you take off, you go and take a walk or go camping where the sunset is perfect, there is nature everywhere, you feel like you have escaped life's demands. That's the feeling of a village. And to add on top of that, there is so much love in a village. These people take care of each other, and it is so humbling because a lot of times people in the villages have very little to give. Like, they can't afford a lot of things, but they are very generous, they are very kind, they take care of their neighbors' children, they take care of each other. They share salt, the bare minimum necessities that you would think. These people like just freely give with a big heart. And I just love that. I just want to be in that community. I just want to be there with people. And of course, like, I don't want to be poor in a village because no one wants to be poor. But I want to be that person whose house has the salt, and my people feel comfortable to come and knock on my door and ask for salt. Like, I want to be that person who is able to give out freely because I have also been blessed to have the abundance that I do. Like, this, I just get excited even talking about it because that is my true life vision. When I pass, don't bury me in any American state. Don't bury me in the West. Take my body back to Africa. Like, if you can't make it back to my home country, bury me in any other African country. My soul will feel at peace because I feel like I'll be in the motherland. I'll be where I was born, where I belong. If I get buried in America, my soul will never rest. Do not even bother putting rest in peace on my grave because my soul is never gonna rest. It's never gonna rest because even in my living, even when I have breath, my soul is not at rest because I am not in Africa. That being said, when I get rich, there would be signs. There will be signs. I'll be walking barefoot in Africa. I will be fetching jerrycans of water. That is the peak of success to me, like finding pure freedom. That is serenity. Like, being woken up by chickens instead of an alarm clock on my iPhone. Like, that is the life I desire. I feel like, guys, let me tell you, I'm going to have literally a full-blown garden, and it's gonna be like an aesthetics garden. I'm gonna have flowers, I'm gonna have chickens, it's gonna be so beautiful. It's gonna be so beautiful. Like, that is my lifelong dream. If anything, if God willing, I want my land to be next to the water. I want a river to be in my backyard. I grew up by the Nile. Like, it was literally like 2 minutes from my house. So I don't know if it's like that connection that I have from my childhood. When we were kids, we would literally go and swim in the Nile, in the river. I almost died from a current, like, sweeping me away. So I just have, like, being next to water just brings back, it's now nostalgic. Like, it's just pure nostalgia because that was my childhood. We would go, there was like this in our town. I grew up in Jinja. There was like this place that was there's a restaurant by the water, and they had a rope swing, like hanging, literally just a rope hanging from a tree. We would drive, what is it, 20 minutes, 30 minutes from my house to this place to just go swing on that rope. That's how, like, I just get so excited talking about these things because this is what I felt like I had no problems in life. Like, I just, this is pure freedom to me, and I pray I can come back to this kind of life one day. Anyways, that is it. Bye. To be honest, every day that goes by, especially on days when everything doesn't end well, I think I just fall back to this thought. Like, I feel like today would have ended better if I was in Africa. These problems would not have existed if I was in Africa. I would have probably had a bad day. I'm not saying that Africa doesn't have bad days. It does, but the bad days are different. They're not the same. They're not the same. One day, lifelong dreams, seriously.